Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a little bit of an update of the Teysa Painted Servant combo that has been working out quite well for me. And also, there's a guy running a similar list with Lingering Souls and more Blood Artist in the Star City Open Louisville right now that I believe made top A and did phenomenally well with the deck. Now, I like this deck because it is probably the strongest place to put Painter Servant in a deck right now and still have it be useful against non-Eldrazi decks. Now, the whole point to Painter Servant, if you haven't seen the original deck tech or watched the videos over at gatheringmagic.com, is against Eldrazi, you name black, and then their Eldrazi Temple and their Eye of Ugin do not work to help ramp in Eldrazi, so it really slows down Eldrazi's. And with the combo deck, that's all you really need to do is slow an aggro deck down, and then you can combo off. The combo in this deck is going to be either Infinite Life with Kitchen Finks and Melira, or it's going to be infinite kill stuff with Teysa and Painted Servant. We also have ways with Blood Artist to get the infinite life. I like Blood Artist a lot more than the Murderous Redcap, as Blood Artist can be found off of the Collected Company or corded a lot easier than the Murderous Redcap. So a few changes from the original deck list. I'm down to 2 Viscera Seers. Sack Outlet is important, but Teysa can also be a sack outlet. I think if you get too many like Viscera Seers or too many Painted Servants and Teysa's, the deck isn't as efficient as it could be. I've removed Spellskite from the main board and put it in the sideboard. There's not a lot of matchups right now that try to interact with you. A lot of Storm, a lot of Goryo's Vengeance. I've been running into a lot of Living End, a lot of like just these decks that are trying to combat the Eldrazi decks by not caring what Eldrazi's doing. So just your typical one-sided combo decks is what you're seeing a lot of in the metagame. So I think that Spellskite is good against decks that try to interrupt combos or try to kill your pieces. And in this particular deck, it's just not, or in this metagame, it's just not as relevant as it used to be. So still running the full 4 package of the Collected Companies and Chord of Callings to try to find the pieces, and that is why I still like to run as many Eternal Witnesses as possible, as Eternal Witnesses can get back a Chord of Calling or a Collected Company. Still going with the Qasali Pridemage. I might try to go down to a 1-1 with Qasali Pridemage with the Sliver, Harmonic Sliver in here, but I do like the Exalted on the Qasali Pridemage, the 2/2 body, and the ability to proactively put out and then sack it to destroy an artifact enchantment is, I think, and just being able to chord it for easier, I think is just a little bit better than the Harmonic Sliver, but we might try a split of the two. The main change of this is I'm running 4 Tidehollow Scullers. These are so good because they do interrupt those combo decks. So if you go up against like Scapeshift or Storm or Living End or Goryo's Vengeance, Tidehollow Sculler has a way to break up that combo. I've locked a lot of people out by actually, in their draw phase, Chord of Calling into Tidehollow Scullers and taking the card they need. Fulminator Mage still continues to be an all-star, and I like it because you do get a Spirit token off of Fulminator Mage. The whole goal is to have 3 Spirit tokens, and if you have a Painter Servant and Teysa, you can go quote-unquote infinite with exiles, being able to exile as many creatures as possible. I still do like the Devout Lightcaster. I haven't put in any other protection from black, or I know that there is some options. There's some knights I know that have protection from black that are pretty good. That I think there's one that can just continue to exile black permanents per turn. And I thought about putting that guy in here, but I think the Devout Lightcaster being able to tutor it up and then exile a black permanent with Painted Servant out is pretty powerful. And just having that one of that toolbox in the deck is worthwhile. We also have a Fiend Hunter for that very reason. And Fiend Hunter and both Tidehollow Sculler can be hooked up with Viscera Seer, that when they enter the battlefield, you can sack them, and then when the trigger goes off, you'll exile whatever you get out of their hand permanently. And it's just, Tidehollow Sculler is just really good with Teysa too, because it's both a black and a white creature, so you do get the benefits of both. So when you sack it, you will get a 1/1 white spirit creature token, and when it dies, or it is a white creature that you can then sack to exile something. So I was able to exile a Berigamos against a Goryo's Vengeance deck, and you also want the Scavenging Ooze as a toolbox in here. Liliana has been an all-star versus the fair decks. You bring in Liliana versus like Jund and Junk and U-White Control, and then Liliana acts as like another Eternal Witness. So getting back like Tidehollow Scullers and keeping her alive, or if you just get her out quickly, you can make each player discard a card. And if you've already used Tidehollow Sculler, this can actually start feeling a lot like Jund and Thoughtseize locks with that. So Fulminator Mage, Tidehollow Sculler, Liliana work very well together to kind of lock out what your opponent's trying to do. So the list at the Star City Open right now is running a lot of Lingering Souls and more Blood Artists, which I think is definitely a worthwhile build. I think if I was going to go into that route, I'd probably cut the Collective Companies completely and then just keep in a few Chord of Callings here and there for the combo. I also thought about building just an Abzan deck around the combo, and then you have access to Siege Rhino, which I think is a very, very powerful card in the format right now, and also you have access to the Loxodon Smiter, and just Wiltleaf Liege. You can even go that route if it turns into more of like shutting down zoo based decks or just burn decks. I think that might be a decent route to go with the Painter Servant combo. I'm really excited that this deck might actually stick around after the Eldrazi Menace goes away if Eye of Ugin gets banned. And that's what's really cool about when people start brewing and start putting their heads together. You start to find combos that I think were powerful enough in Modern to begin with. I'm having a lot of success. In fact, the Eldrazi matchup's only about 50-50, and the success that I'm having is against all of the other decks. So just the 2-4-1 finishes that I've had right now. I didn't record any of the last 4-1. I just wanted to play test this deck more without having like the distractions of having to commentate. I play a lot better when I do not have to commentate. And the Gathering Magic videos, just check out their video. I'll have it in the link. I'll actually have a link to that deck list and this current deck list in the description. And then you can go check out those games. So it was Living End, Abzan, Rally, and Archangel Thune Collected Company, or Chord of Calling. I think they call it Angel Chord is what they call that deck. And then I beat Red Green Eldrazi and then lost to U White Eldrazi. But the real reason I lost to U White Eldrazi was I got stuck on 2 lands 2 games in a row with Fulminator Mage in my hand both times. And it's just one of those. The game I won where I got the lands, yeah, I won, and then I lost the other 2 just getting stuck on the 2. I think they dismembered a birds, and then I got stuck on 2, and it was really hard for me to progress my board, which is 2 mana. And eventually the Thought-Knot Seer into Reality Smasher, Eldrazi Mimic nonsense. I think game 1 was actually just it was first turn Eye of Ugin, second turn Eldrazi Temple, Eldrazi Mimic into Thought-Knot Seer into Reality Smasher, and it's just that draw is the reason why I believe that Eye of Ugin is going to get banned, because it's very hard for any deck to deal with that draw. It's just so much damage, so much disruption, and whatnot. So anyway, 4-1 finish was good there, and then I re-queued up afterwards and just went 1-0 or I can't even think of the match, but I know I beat Jund and U-White Control and Goryo's Vengeance, and then lost to Storm, and then beat another Eldrazi deck. So I guess it's a little over 50% right now against Eldrazi. Not seeing as much Eldrazi as some people are. Like, again, it's just been 2 out of 5 and 1 out of 5, which is still a large chunk of the metagame. But I've actually seen a lot of these more combo decks and control decks pop up more so than the Eldrazi lately. So people are definitely trying to combat the Eldrazi menace. I'm still interested in your ideas. Celestial Flare seems good. Let's just look at things that have like interactions with black so far. So black permanent, see if we can find any. And it also works with black card too. So we have the Devout Lightcaster, of course, and let's get into our Abzan colors here and see if there's anything we're missing here that can be found off of. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like there's anything with black permanent. We could go like black card. See if there's anything like that. Yeah, Martyr Bones doesn't quite work, or Ruthless Ripper. This isn't bad. The Nightshade Assassin with the Madness off of the... Like, people are using the Madness trigger with Big Game Hunter, which I also think is a decent card to bring in. Big Game Hunter basically has Madness destroy creature with power 4 or greater, I believe. And they're doing that by targeting you can either find it off of like a Chord of Calling or a Collected Company, or you can just target the Reality Smasher, and then that gives you Madness, and then you can actually kill the Reality Smasher with the Big Game Hunter. But this one's kind of cool. You can reveal X black cards and have a creature at -X with Madness too. I just think there's better things than that. So far, yeah, Sickening Shoal can kind of work. It's again, you don't really want to be exiling anything in this. I know there's like, see how Dark Betrayal is worded. So destroy target black creature. So I think that's the next thing. I want black permanent because that actually kills. I thought there was another one. There was some sort of knight that did it, but maybe it's not quite in modern. It's just finding a bunch of black creatures here. So let's actually undo black and see if we can find anything that deals with it. And not a lot of stuff that, yeah, not a really anything that deals with. Oops, I undid white. That's probably my problem here. I had destroy target artifact creature, black creature. Purge isn't bad at instant speed destroying, but I think just Celestial Purge. So let's look how that's worded and see what comes up. Because I swear it is black permanent as well. Exile target black or red permanent. So I guess I need to put black permanent not in parentheses because it's not reading it how it would read. So yeah, the light wielder paladin, is that what I'm thinking of? The exile target. Whenever a paladin deals combat damage to a player, you may exile target black or red permanent that player controls. That'd be awesome if you could cheat it out. There is some knights like Precinct Captain cheats out soldiers, but I believe there is some stuff that can cheat out knights. But it just might be way too hard at 5 mana to put in a deck like this. Then there's Display of Dominance that can destroy a black non-creature permanent, or your permanents can't be the target of black or blue spells. That's actually not a bad sideboard card with like Painter's Servant, because you can counter basically anything that they do, or give anything hexproof, because every spell is going to be turned black. Or you can destroy a black or blue non-creature permanent, which ends up being lands, which ends up being artifacts, enchantments, etc. Not a bad card, but Celestial Purge I think is the best thing we have so far. And then some of these other ones are just not quite as good. Hey, this one's not bad. The Filigree Fracture. Destroy target artifact or enchantment if that permanent was blue or black. Draw a card, but unfortunately it's got to be an artifact or enchantment. And yeah, just not a lot of other cards that match our criteria. So I swear there was a knight that did so as well. Protection from black. There's a lot of things that have protection from black. In the modern format. And let me see if I can find that knight. And there might actually be some other ones where you can like give it a color and then do something based upon that color. So yeah, double strike protection from green and black with Moran Crusader. And the Willowleaf Leech can kind of go in this type of deck too as far as knights are concerned. But I swear Fiendslayer Paladin has can't be targeted with black or red spells, so you give it hexproof. And let's see here. See what I can find. I thought it was a mana cost 3 knight with double white. See if we can find. Paladin Vec has protection from black and red. And Silverblade Paladin, that's not what I'm thinking of. This has protect. This Still Moon Cavalier has protection from black and white, and this one's kind of cool because it's also a white and black card, so it does have a lot of synergy with Teysa. As if you sack it, you'll get back something, but I don't know if that's quite the right route you'd want to go. And I think that if you guys can think of the card that has it's a knight that destroys I believe a black permanent, but I might be incorrect here. So if you can find that, let me know what the card is called. I thought it was a paladin actually. Let me find if it's a paladin. Oh, here's a cool one. This one's not bad. This is not bad at all. That you can when it enters the battlefield, choose a color and destroy target permanent of the chosen color. Yeah, that's a pretty neat little card. The only problem with this is it's 5 mana, and I don't know. I think that it could go in some sort of like controller list with Teysa, and this be your kind of finisher to eat away lands. But I just don't think that is something that is quite fast enough in a format especially with Reality Smashers now and kind of the route that people take. So I guess I'm mistaken about a card. If you know that card, put it in the comment section below and we'll figure it out. But I think Celestial Purge and Devout Lightcaster is the best way to go. So anyway, this is just an overview of the deck. I hope you enjoyed these. If you play the deck, let me know what you've done. I've gone a 4-1 and a 4-1, and that's the only experience I've had with the deck. So far 8-2 with it, which I don't find that's very reasonable. I mean, it paid for itself and got some packs on MTGO. So I'm going to continue to play it and try to refine it, see what the right number of like Orzhov Pontiffs and Sin Collectors. Love an Orzhov Pontiffs because it actually hoses out decks that try to use like a lot of 1/1 creatures, which is like Dark Confidants, and other decks use birds and Noble Hierarchs and things like that. So it's a great card right now to have one in the main board, one in the sideboard, just for that little interaction. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.